Can you say Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, welcome to this session of Sri Brahma Samhita. So, today we'll be learning verse 44. So, we start with the first one. Lokeshwar, would you like to start? Both the Sanskrit and translation.
Okay. Isharaha Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karuna Karanam.
You can also say the English, yeah?
Okay. Krishna was known as Govinda, the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the original of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes.
Text 29, I read. Chintamani prakara satma shukalpa vriksha lakshavriteshu surabhira bhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shatasam brahmasevymanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajas. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purple trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or gopis. Sitaram Prabhu, would you like to do this one?
Translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept. The text also. Sorry. The text you said? Yes.
The Sanskrit one.
It's good. Venum kwanantamaravinda dalaya taksham barha batam sam asitam buddha sundarangam kandar pakoti kamani abhisesa sobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Translation, Mataji?
Yes. Yes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with his head decked with peacock's feathers, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Prabhu, will you do the next one?
Sure. Alola Chandra Kalasadvan Malyavamsi Ratnagadam Panayakeli Kalavilasham Shyamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Bhusham Tamaham Bhajam. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with a moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful three-bending form of Shyam Sundar is eternally manifest.
Sunil Prabhu, are you able to read?
Sure, Mata. Haribol.
Very good.
Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pasyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sat ujjvala vigrahasya govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantially, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
Shall we read the next one? Advaitam Achyutama Anadimanantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayoppanam Cha Vedeshu Dullabham Adurlabham Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govind, the primal Lord, who is inaccessible to the Ved, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purush. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. Lokeshwar, can you read text 34?
Pantastuko tishatavatsara sampragamyo vayo rathapi manaso munipungavanam sopi yasti yat prapapada simni abhinchatatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire up to the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the Gyanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
Prabha Mataji, would you like to do text 35?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and all the devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Ekopayasu risayutum jagata anda kotim yasachakaratir asti jagat anda siyadanta andatras sataparamu siyantara satanam govindama adi parasamatama apaham bhajami. Translation: He is undifferently entire, as there is no distinction between potency and the professor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universe exists in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms. They are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. Hare Krishna.
यद्भावभविता धियो मनुजस्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमा सनय न विभुषः सुक्तैर्यम् एवं निगमा प्रतीतै स्तुवन्ति Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Translation: I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Veda, by gaining the appropriate beauty, greatness, throne, convenience, and ornaments. Hare Krishna.
Text 37. Ananda Chinmaya सुरसप्रतिभाविताभिः ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the static potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidant, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual verse. Text 38. Nabi Prabhu?
Ya premanjana charito bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hidayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunasarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyama Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the sour of love.
Sunil Prabhu, text 39.
Sure. Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niya Mena Tistam Nana Vataram Akrod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Parama Punamyo Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Ram, Nrsimha, Vaman, etc. as his subjective portions.
Keshwar, text 40. Lokeshwar, are you there?
Yes, he's there. Maybe he's just popped out.
Okay, I'll do it. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanta koti shvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhenan tad brahma nishkalamanantamashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Translation. I worship Govind, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishads, being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe, appears as the indivisible, infinite, limitless truth. Text 41. Prabha Mataji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Maya hi asya jagat anda satani sut triyangunaye tadvisyaye veda vitayamana satvalambi parasatavam visudad satvam govindam adi purusam tama ahama bhajami. Translation. I worship Govinda, the A prime world Lord, who is the absolute substantive principle, being ultimate entirely in the form of the support of all the extents, whose internal potency embodies the threefold mundane qualities vijas, sattva, rajas, tamas, diffuse, and the Vedic knowledge regarding the mundane world. Hare Krishna.
Text 42. Ananda chinmaya rasatmataya manasu ya praninam pratipalam smaratamupetya lila itena bhuvanani jayatyajasram govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world by the activity of his own pastimes, being reflected in the mind of recollecting souls as a transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rest. Sitaram Prabhu, text 43.
गोलोकनं निजधं नितले च तस्य देवी महेशहरिधामसुते सुतेषु ते ते प्रभावनिचया विहितश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Lowest of all is located Devi Dham, mundane world. Next above it is Mahesha Dham, abode of Mahesha. Above Mahesha Dham is placed Hari Dham, abode of Hari. And above them all is located Krishna's own realm named Goloka. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who has allotted their respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. Hare Krishna.
We will read text 44. Shrishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shaktireka chaye vayasya bhuvanani bibharti durga ichhanurupam api yasya chestatesha govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Read the words. Shrishti, Shrishti, Sthiti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Pralaya, Sadhana, Sadhana, Shakti, Shakti, Eka, Eka, Chayeva, Chayeva, Yasya, Yasya, Bhuvanani, Bhuvanani, Vibharti, Vibharti, Durga, Durga. Ichha Nurupam, Ichha Nurupam, Api, Api, Yasya, Yasya, Cha, Cha, Cheshtate, Cheshtate, Sa, Sa, Govindam, Adi Purusham, Tam aham bhajami. Shrishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chaye vayasya bhuvanani bibharti durga ichhanurupam api yasya cha cheshtate sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Madhi Prabhu?
Yeah. Shri 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 Siddhi Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka cha eva yasya bhuvanani bibharati durga icha nurupamapi yasya cha chestate sa govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Taram Prabhu?
सृष्टि स्थिति प्रलय साधना शक्तिरेका छायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपम् अपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Lokeshwar? Sunil Prabhu?
सृष्टि स्थिति प्रलय साधना शक्तिरेक छायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छा निरूपम् अपि यस्य च चेष्टते चेष्टते स गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि.
Prabha Mataji?
Text 44.
Yes.
Shristi Sthiti Paralaya Sadhana Saktireka Jayava Yasava Yasya Bhuvanani Vivirati Durga Ichonoru Pama Abhiyasyai Sestei Saha Govindama Adi Purusam Tama Abham Bhajami. Hare Krishna.
The synonyms: Shrishti, creation; Sthiti, preservation; Pralaya, and destruction; Sadhana, the agency; Shakti, potency; Eka, one; Chhaya, the shadow; Eva, like; Yasya, of whom; Bhuvanani, the mundane world; Bibharti, maintained; Durga, Durga; Ichha, the will; Anurupam, in accordance with; Api, certainly; Yasya, of; Yasya, of whom; Cha, and; Cheshtate, conducts herself; Sa, she; Govindam, Govinda; Adi Purusham, the original person; Tam, him; Aham, I; Bhajami, worship. Translation: the external potency Maya, who is the nature of the shadow or the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. The aforesaid presiding deity of Devi Dham is being described. The world in which Brahma takes his stance and hence the Lord of Goloka is Devi Dham, consisting of 14 worlds, and Durga is its presiding lead. She is 10-armed, representing the tenfold fruitive activities. She rides on the lion, representing her heroic prowess. She tramples down Mahishasur, representing the subduer of vices. She is the mother of two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesh, representing beauty and success. She is placed between Lakshmi and Saraswati, representing mundane opulence and mundane knowledge. She is armed with the 20 weapons, representing the various pious activities enjoined by the Vedas for suppression of vices. She holds the snake representing the beauty of destructive time. Such is Durga, possessing all these manifold forms. Durga is possessed of Durga, which means a prison house. When Jiva is begotten of the marginal potency, the Tashtha Shakti, forget the service of Krishna, they are confined in the mundane prison house, the citadel of Durga. The wheel of karma is the instrument of punishment at this place. The work of purifying these penalized jivas is the duty devolved upon Durga. She is incessantly engaged in discharging the same by the will of Govinda. When luckily the forgetfulness of Govinda on the part of the imprisoned jivas is remarked by them by coming in contact with self-realized souls, and their natural aptitude for the loving service of Krishna is aroused, Durga herself then becomes the agency of the deliverance by the will of Govinda. So it behooves everybody to obtain the guileless grace of Durga, the mistress of this prison house, by propitiating her with the selfless service of Krishna. The boons received from Durga in the shape of wealth, property, recovery from illness, of wife and sons, should be realized as the deluding kindness of Durga. The mundane psychical jubilations of Dash Mahavidya, Dasa Mahavidya, the 10 goddesses or forms of Durga, are elaborated for the delusion of the fettered souls of this world. Jiva is a spiritual atomic part of Krishna. When he forgets his service of Krishna, he is at once deflected by the attracting power of Maya in this world, who throws him into the whirlpool of mundane fruitive activity, karma, by confining him in a gross body constituted by the 5 material elements, their 5 attributes, and 11 senses, resembling the garb of a prisoner. In this whirlpool, Jiva has experience of happiness and miseries, heaven and hell. Besides this, there is a subtle body consisting of the mind, intelligence, and ego inside the gross body. By means of the subtle body, the jiva forsakes one gross body and takes recourse to another. The jiva cannot get rid of the subtle body, full of nations and evil desires, unless and until he is liberated. On getting rid of subtle body, he bathes in the Viraja and goes up to Haridham. Such are the duties performed by Durga in accordance with the will of Govinda. In the Bhagavad Shlok, Vilajamanaya Durdhiya, the relationship between Durga and the conditioned souls has been described. Durga, worshipped by the people of this mundane world, is the Durga described above, but the spiritual Durga mentioned in the mantra, which is the outer covering of the spiritual realm of the Supreme Lord, is the eternal maid servant of Krishna and is therefore the transcendental reality whose shadow the Durga of this world functions in this mundane world as her maid servant. Right? The purport of Shloka 3.
Mhm.
So very nice description of Goddess Durga
Mm.
and how we are fallen souls imprisoned in this prison house, the world.
Mm.
Any comment, Prabhuji?
Yeah, and as you said, she is the gatehouse keeper. Brilliant purport by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, because he's explaining so nicely how what is the function of Durga in this material world. But she also helps the devotees to go to the spiritual world. And there is the spiritual Durga, who is a maidservant, right, of Krishna. That's it. That's right, maidservant of Krishna. So that the expansion of that Durga is the Durga that we know in this material world. And mostly people pray to Durga for material gains. wealth because she can provide that very easily. But actually, that is the wrong way to worship Durga or ask anything from Durga. If we want to ask anything from Durga Mata, please let me become a wonderful servant of the Lord. And she's so kind because she herself is a servant of the Lord. She will assist us, no doubt about it. But as long as we have material desires, she keeps us here. She will not let us go beyond this world, into Haridam or into the Viraj and then the Haridam, as described in this purport. Really amazing purport, actually. It's worth studying it a few times just to understand the position of Durga Mata. Yeah, I think that's the main thing I wanted to express. And she's also known as Maya. Durga Mata is also known as Maya, that which is not. So Maya can really confuse us in this world. Prabhavin, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, I was listening. Eyes keep closing. This, as soon as I see my eyes are on the screen and it start closing. But I have listened a little bit of it. The last bit you said about the Maya. Maya, we did talk about yesterday or day before yesterday. Because are you saying the Maya, which is we are with the family and we are doing our duties? Is that the one you're talking?
Yeah, that's the manifestation of Durga. Durga Maya, Durga Mataji is manifestation of Maya. So she is, she gives us all these different things as temptations to forget our service to Krishna. So,
Oh, is she? I'm sorry.
yeah, she's in charge.
She's not opposite to Krishna.
No, she's a devotee of Krishna. She's a wonderful devotee.
She is devotee of Krishna, but still, because of the Maya, we can't do any good karmas for Krishna. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes, that's right. Maya.
We want to do karma, good karmas.
Yeah.
But like, look at me now. I'm doing a spiritual part with you. The Maya is come inside me and it's closing my eyes, which I really don't want it.
That's because you're working
hard.
No,
that's what is Maya says, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's true, because I have been, even if I go in the katha, I'm so happy to sit down, listen, all of a sudden the eyes start closing.
You're working.
And then you go in another world with them.
Yeah, in the world of Maya, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And we don't want that.
No. But we can also ask her, please help me get closer to Krishna.
Krishna, yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I didn't know you was doing this today.
Yes, tomorrow we'll continue with Bhagavad Gita.
Tomorrow I might go and see my sister-in-law, which I haven't been to her house for nearly 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'm 100% not sure.
Okay.
If I'm going, then I won't join.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I don't go, then I will join. Depends on the weather.
Yeah, of course.
No, she's 78 and she can't come out.
Okay.
So maybe I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I will still watch it on the YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, Karuna Mataji. Thank you for practicing us this.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Karuna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai.
Then
Jai.